everybody, it's Dr. Joe, and today I'm going to show you my top 7 ways to stop feet and ankle swelling. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So the first one is one of my favorites, which is ankle pumps. It's really nice because you can do it lying down, or you can even do it sitting in a chair if you're working at a desk or maybe watching some TV. When you do ankle pumps lying down, make sure that either your foot is hanging off of something or that you have it slightly propped up. And that's mainly just so you have free movement in that heel. If I was just doing it here, I could do the ankle pumps, but I'm not getting quite as much motion because my heel is on the floor. So again, if you kind of hang it off of something like maybe an ottoman, if you're propping it up, or in the bed, you can hang it off. But if you're on the floor or something, just prop up that heel. And you're just going to push down as far as you comfortably can and then pull up as far as you comfortably can. So it's just like it sounds, you're just kind of pumping that ankle up and down. And what that does is if you have swelling kind of in your feet or, in your ankles or anything like that, this makes that calf work as a natural pump to pump that fluid back out of your leg into your body. And a lot of times we get the swelling down there because even if something's going on in our hip or our knee, maybe even our low back, it just follows gravity. And so it doesn't even always have to be an injury at your foot or your ankle. It can be up here, and that fluid just follows gravity when you're up and moving, and then so it gets all swollen down there. So ankle pumps are really great to do. You can do a lot of these, 10, 15, 20, several times a day. They're easy to do, and again, it just works kind of like a natural pump to get everything out of there. So then the next one is then to stretch the calf. And so you can do the stretches a couple different ways. I like, since I'm kind of already in this position, is to use a strap to stretch the calf. If you have something like a stretch strap like this, that's great. If you don't, you can use like a belt. A dog leash works really well because you have the loop. You just might not want your doggies around because they might get excited that you're going to take them on a walk. But you want it to be something solid, so you don't want those resistive bands. You want something that's not going to give way. Take the loop, usually if you loop it, it works better, and kind of put it about at the ball of your foot, because if it's too high, it's going to come off and smack you, and if it's too low, you're not really going to get that pull that you need. So you're just relaxing your foot, and you're using the strap or the belt to pull your foot towards you. So I'm getting a big stretch. I should feel it in my calf right down there, and it shouldn't be painful. It should be comfortable tightness. And since this is a full stretch, you want to hold this stretch for 30 seconds, kind of relax it, and then come back into the stretch. If you just have one side that's swollen, you really probably want to stretch both sides if you can. But if you have swelling in your legs and you don't really know why you have swelling in your legs, make sure and check in with your doctor, because sometimes if you have just swelling that that's not from an injury or anything, sometimes it can be a circulation issue, but sometimes it can be a heart issue. So make sure that you check in with your doctor if you're having that and you don't know why you're having that swelling. So 30 seconds, 3 times on each side if you can. So then you're going to go into some exercises. And what I really like best about doing a straight leg raise is that you're getting some elevation with your leg as well. So just lie down and get comfortable. I like propping up my other side just because, 1, it gives me a target, and 2, it takes some pressure off my back, especially if I'm having some back issues. Then all you're going to do is pull your toes up. That's going to help lock out your leg because you want your leg to be straight. It's just like it sounds, a straight leg raise. And then you're just going to bring your leg up to about equal the other side. So you're not kicking it all the way up like that. If you can only go to there, that's okay, but you really want the goal to be about right there, and then slowly control it back down. So you don't want to just do this. That's using momentum. I'm not really using my muscles, but you're really kind of going slow and controlled with it. Now when you come back down, if you can keep it locked out and just kind of tap the floor and come back up, that's great. But if you need to come all the way back down and kind of relax and reset, that's fine as well. But if you can keep it kind of tightened the whole time, that's going to help with those muscles as well. So again, depending on how hard these are for you, you can start off with 5, 10, do a couple sets of those a couple times a day. So going more into the elevation, that's another really great thing. If you have that swelling in your feet and in your ankles, just propping it up on something is really good. And so in general, you want it to be propped up higher than your heart. So if I'm sitting up like this, it's going to help some, but since my heart is a little bit higher than all that, it's not going to be as beneficial as if I lie all the way down and prop that leg up. So the leg doesn't necessarily have to be straight when you're elevating it, but you want all of it to kind of be higher so that fluid can just gently come back into your system and work it out. But again, be very careful with this, because if you have heart issues, you don't want all that fluid coming back in at one time. So, make sure that you're checking with your doctor that all this is okay and find out what is causing that swelling. But if you're propping it up, you can do this for a longer period of time, 10 to 15 minutes, or, even if you're lying down relaxing, watching TV or a movie or something, you can prop it up for longer than that as well and just have that fluid kind of come back into your system. So now I'm going to show you some seated exercises, and I really like these because, especially again, if you're working and you're working at a computer or at a desk all day long, these are really easy to do, and a lot of times when you're sitting, that swelling increases as well. So it's good to be able to do these without having to get a whole lot of equipment. So the next one is just going to be hip flexion. So you're just bringing your knee straight up. Try and keep your back pretty straight, or if you have a backrest to kind of relax into it, that you're not trying to lean into bringing it up. So you're just coming straight up, and then you can alternate sides with this one if you want to. So while I'm doing this, I want to give a shout out to some of my Patreon supporters, and if I say your name wrong, I'm sorry, but Eldalto M, Darren K, Maria B, Barry R, and Carlos A. Thank you so much for being supporters, and if you want to support me on Patreon, you can click on the link up there or check out the link in the description below. So after you do about maybe 10 on each side, then you can go into knee extension, or we call them long arc quads. So this time you're just going to come up, kind of squeeze and pull your toes up, and then come back down. So again, I kind of like to alternate sides when I'm doing this. If you're at your desk, hopefully you have a little room to do this, but you can slide your chair back if you need to. But when I come up to that end range, I'm really trying to squeeze that quad muscle, and when I pull my toes, that's what helps kind of lock everything out. And again, that's making those muscles work as natural pumps to get some of that swelling out of there. So again, maybe just 10 on each side, alternating back and forth, and you can do that, several times throughout the day. So then the last one is just heel raises. And so with the heel raises, you can do these sitting, or you can do them standing if you want them to be a little bit more difficult. But seated is fine, because again, if you're working a desk job, this is really easy to do while you're working. You don't even have to stop. So with the heel raises, it's just like it sounds. You're bringing your heels up that way, and you might have heard my feet cracking a little bit, but that's good. That made it feel good. And then you can also, if you want to, alternate back and forth from heel raises to toe raises, and just kind of go back and forth like this. So again, that's kind of just like those ankle pumps lying all the way down, but now you're kind of getting a little bit more movement in those muscles to work as those natural pumps to get that swelling or that fluid back out of your body. So again, 10, 15, 20 of these, you can do several throughout the day, and a lot of times it makes a big difference. But again, if you don't know why you're having that swelling in your legs, make sure and talk to your doctor, because sometimes that's a sign of a bigger issue. So there you have it. Those are my top 7 ways to stop feet and ankle swelling. So if you'd like to help support my channel, make sure and click up there, and thanks again to all my patrons, and don't forget to subscribe down there. And remember, be safe, pump those muscles, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.